The world of video games has evolved dramatically over the past few decades. The industry has seen numerous innovations and pioneers, but few have had the impact of Nintendo. The Japanese gaming giant has been a driving force in the industry since its inception in 1889 as a playing card company. Today, we take a look at the incredible history of the Nintendo Corporation, from its humble beginnings to its dominance of the gaming world. The story of Nintendo begins in 1889 in the city of Kyoto, Japan, where a young entrepreneur named Fusajiro Yamauchi founded a company called Nintendo Koppai. At the time, Nintendo produced a variety of handmade playing cards, which were sold in local markets and used in popular Japanese games like Hanafuda. Despite facing stiff competition from other card makers, Yamauchi was determined to make Nintendo stand out. He hired talented artists to design beautiful and intricate cards, and he focused on developing strong relationships with his suppliers and customers. Yamauchi's efforts paid off, and by the 1920s, Nintendo had become one of the leading playing card companies in Japan. However, the company's success was not without its challenges. In 1929, the global economic downturn known as the Great Depression hit Japan hard, and many businesses, including Nintendo, struggled to survive. Yamauchi was forced to make difficult decisions, including laying off employees and cutting costs wherever possible. In 1949, Yamauchi's grandson, Hiroshi Yamauchi, took over as president of Nintendo. At just 22 years old, Yamauchi was young and inexperienced, but he was determined to turn the company around and make it a success. Yamauchi knew that in order to compete in the crowded playing card market, Nintendo would need to innovate. He began experimenting with new materials and techniques, and he hired a team of talented designers to create cards that were both beautiful and durable. Yamauchi's efforts paid off, and by the 1950s, Nintendo had become known for producing some of the highest quality playing cards in Japan. The company also expanded its product line, producing other games and toys like the Love Tester, which became a huge hit in Japan and eventually sold over 1 million units worldwide. Despite his success, Yamauchi was not content to rest on his laurels. He knew that the playing card market was limited, and he wanted to find new opportunities for Nintendo to grow and expand. He saw that the future of gaming was not in traditional playing cards but in electronic games. He began to experiment with different types of electronic devices, eventually settling on toys that used light and sound. In the 1960s, Yamauchi began to explore the emerging field of electronic games. He saw the potential of these new technologies, and he believed that Nintendo could become a leader in this exciting new field. In 1966, Yamauchi struck a deal with the American toy company Magnavox to distribute a new game console called the Magnavox Odyssey in Japan. This console, which was the first ever home video game system, was a moderate success, selling just over 330,000 units worldwide. Also in 1966, Nintendo released its first electronic toy, a series of miniature light gun games called the Beam Gun series. These toys were a huge success in Japan and helped Nintendo establish itself as a leader in the electronic toy market. Yamauchi saw the potential of the home video game market and knew that Nintendo needed to get in on the action. In 1970, he hired a young engineer named Gunpei Yokoi to lead Nintendo's new game development division. Yokoi was a brilliant engineer with a passion for creating new and innovative products. He quickly got to work developing a new line of electronic toys and games for Nintendo, including the Ultra Hand, which became a massive hit in Japan and sold over 1.2 million units. Yokoi's success caught the attention of Yamauchi, who tasked him with creating Nintendo's first video game console. In 1977, Yokoi and his team released the Color TV game, which was a home video game console that allowed players to play simple games like Pong and tennis. The console was a hit in Japan and sold over 3 million units. In 1978, Nintendo released its first arcade game, a space shooter called Space Invaders. The game was an instant hit and helped to establish Nintendo as a major player in the video game industry. Over the next few years, Nintendo released a series of successful arcade games, including Donkey Kong in 1981. Donkey Kong introduced the world to two iconic characters, Mario and Donkey Kong, who would become the faces of Nintendo's gaming empire. Donkey Kong was a massive success and spawned numerous sequels and spin-offs. However, the game's creator, Shigeru Miyamoto, was already working on a new game that would revolutionize the industry. In 1985, Nintendo released Super Mario Bros., a game that would change the face of video games forever. The game was a massive success and helped to establish Nintendo as the leading player in the industry. This success led Yamauchi to push for the development of a more advanced console, which would eventually become the Nintendo Entertainment System or NES. The NES, which was released in Japan in 1983 and in North America in 1985, was a revolutionary console that featured improved graphics and gameplay. The NES was an instant hit, and it propelled Nintendo to the forefront of the gaming industry. The console sold over 60 million units worldwide, and it introduced players to iconic characters like Mario and Zelda, which would become some of the most recognizable characters in the world. With the success of Super Mario Bros. And other hit games like The Legend of Zelda and Metroid, Nintendo established itself as the dominant player in the video game industry in the 1980s and early 1990s. Nintendo's success was due in part to its innovative hardware. In 1989, Nintendo released the Game Boy, a handheld gaming device that would go on to sell over 118 million units worldwide. However, Nintendo's dominance was not without its challenges. In the mid-1990s, the company faced stiff competition from Sony's PlayStation, which offered more powerful hardware and a wider range of games. To counter this, Nintendo released the Nintendo 64 in 1996, which was the world's first gaming console to feature 3D graphics. The console was a hit, selling over 32 million units worldwide, but it was unable to match the success of Sony's PlayStation. In 2001, Nintendo released the GameCube, which was another innovative console, featuring a unique design and a controller with a built-in microphone. However, the GameCube struggled to compete with the PlayStation 2 and Microsoft's Xbox, and it sold only 22 million units worldwide. Despite these setbacks, Nintendo continued to innovate, releasing the handheld Nintendo DS in 2004, which introduced touchscreen technology and sold over 154 million units worldwide. In 2006, Nintendo released the Wii, which featured motion control technology and was a massive success, selling over 100 million units worldwide. Today, Nintendo continues to be a major player in the video game industry, with its latest console, the Nintendo Switch, selling over 85 million units worldwide. The company has also expanded into mobile gaming, releasing popular titles like Pokémon Go and Mario Kart Tour for smartphones and tablets. In recent years, Nintendo has faced increasing competition from the likes of Sony and Microsoft, as well as new players in the industry like Google and Amazon. However, the company has continued to innovate, developing new technologies like the Labo cardboard construction kits and the Ring-Fit Adventure fitness game. Nintendo's success has been driven by its commitment to innovation and its ability to create unique and compelling gaming experiences. As the gaming industry continues to evolve, it will be fascinating to see what the future holds for this iconic company. The history of Nintendo is a story of innovation, determination, and a commitment to excellence. From its humble beginnings as a playing card company to its current position as one of the world's leading gaming companies, Nintendo has remained at the forefront of the industry by consistently pushing the boundaries of what is possible. Whether it is the iconic characters of Mario and Donkey Kong, the innovative hardware of the Game Boy and Wii, or the groundbreaking software of Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda, Nintendo's legacy is one that will continue to inspire and entertain gamers for generations to come.